My wife's coworker came to our house. The air in the living room hung heavy, thick with the scent of my wife's lavender candle flickering on the coffee table. I stood frozen in the kitchen doorway, my fingers tightening around the edge of a cold beer bottle, as her laughter, bright, unguarded, intimate, spilled from the couch where she sat with him. Mark, her coworker, leaned closer, his voice low and smooth, like he was sharing a secret meant only for her. My chest constricted, a sharp pang slicing through me, not because of what they were saying, but how they were saying it. Their ease, their rhythm, it felt like a language I'd never been taught. I'd met Mark before, at her office holiday party last year. He was charming in that effortless way that made you want to like him, even when you didn't. Broad shoulders, quick smile, eyes that lingered just a fraction too long. Tonight, he'd shown up at our house unannounced, a manila folder tucked under his arm, claiming they needed to polish the Peterson proposal. My wife, Sarah, had waved it off with a casual, "It's just work, babe," but the way her hand brushed his as she handed him a glass of wine told a different story. A story I wasn't sure I wanted to read. The clock on the wall ticked louder than it should have, each second a hammer against my skull. I watched them from the shadows of the kitchen, my breath shallow, my mind clawing for excuses. They're just colleagues. She's always been friendly. I'm overthinking this. But then Mark's hand grazed her knee, a fleeting touch she didn't pull away from, and my stomach lurched. The beer bottle slipped in my grip, cold condensation dripping onto my knuckles. I wanted to storm in, demand answers, but my feet stayed rooted, paralyzed by the fear of what I might learn. "Jake, you okay in there?" Sarah's voice cut through the haze, bright but edged with something. Was it nervousness? Guilt? I forced a smile, stepping into the living room, my heart pounding like a drum in a funeral march. "Yeah, just grabbing a drink," I said, my voice steadier than I felt. Mark glanced up, his smile easy, but his eyes flickered with something I couldn't name. Challenge. Pity. I hated him for it. The next hour was torture. They talked about deadlines, clients, spreadsheets, mundane work jargon that felt like a performance. Every laugh, every shared glance, was a needle under my skin. I sat across from them, pretending to scroll through my phone, but my eyes kept darting to Sarah's hands, her posture, the way she tucked her hair behind her ear when Mark spoke. It was a gesture I'd always loved, one I thought was mine. Now it felt stolen. When Mark finally stood to leave, relief flooded me, but it was short-lived. As he reached the front door, I noticed his phone on the coffee table, its screen glowing with a notification. My pulse spiked. "Don't do it," my mind screamed, but my body moved before I could stop it. "Hey, Mark," I called, my voice sharp enough to make him pause. "You forgot your phone." He turned, his expression unreadable, and walked back. I picked up the device, my thumb brushing the screen. The notification was still there, a text from Sarah. "Tonight was nice. Let's do it again soon." The words hit like a punch, stealing my breath. My eyes snapped to her, standing behind him, her face paling as she realized what I'd seen. "Jake, it's not," she started, but her voice cracked, betraying her. "Not what?" I snapped, my voice low, trembling with rage and heartbreak. Mark shifted, his hands raised like he could calm the storm brewing in me. "Look, man, it's just a misunderstanding," he said, but his tone was too smooth, too practiced. I wanted to believe him. I wanted to believe her. But the text burned in my mind, a neon sign screaming truths I'd been dodging for weeks, her late nights at the office, her sudden need for space, the way her kisses had grown perfunctory, like a chore. "Get out," I said to Mark, my voice barely above a whisper, but it carried the weight of everything breaking inside me. He hesitated, then nodded, slipping out the door without another word. The silence that followed was deafening, the kind that swallows you whole. Sarah stood there, her eyes wide, glistening with unshed tears. "Jake, please," she whispered, stepping toward me. I backed away, the phone still in my hand, its screen now dark but heavy with betrayal. "Tell me," I said, my voice raw, cracking under the weight of dread. "Tell me what nice means. Tell me why you're texting him like that." Her lips parted, but no words came. Her silence was answer enough, and it shattered me. I saw our life together, Our wedding vows, our late-night talks, the plans we'd made for a future that now felt like a lie, crumbling into ash. "I didn't mean for it to happen," she finally said, her voice small, trembling. "It was just talking at first. Then it became more." Each word was a blade, slicing deeper. I wanted to scream, to cry, to shake her until she took it back. But all I could do was stand there, drowning in the wreckage of us. The room spun, the lavender candle's flame blurring through my tears. I thought of the ring on her finger, the one I'd saved a year's salary for, and wondered how long it had meant nothing. "How long?" I asked, my voice barely audible. She looked away, her shoulders shaking, and I knew the answer would destroy me. "Since the summer," she whispered. "For months. For months of lies, of her coming home to me, smiling, while her heart was elsewhere." I staggered back, the phone slipping from my hand, hitting the floor with a dull thud. The sound echoed in my chest, final, like the closing of a door I could never reopen.